Hello everyone, Matthew Hawkins back again with not another video, because it was a video that I did, well, series I did last year, my top 53 Super Bowl commercials of all time. This time, it's going to be one full list, one video. I thought, what floats your boat? It's you guys who decide. Do you like it as a series, just separate episodes, or do you just want to watch the whole thing back to back? Now, you've got the choice. Enough of the gab. Let's get on with it. Let's get back to last year and my top 53 Super Bowl commercials of all time. Enjoy. Hello everyone, Matthew Hawkins back again with another video, and it's that time of year again. It is one of the weeks I look forward to all year. It is Super Bowl week, and with the Super Bowl on Sunday night, we also have the commercials for those of you in the United States, and those in the UK watching on NFL Game Pass Europe. I definitely will be, like I did last year, where you get all the Americana experience if you want to watch all the good stuff and not just the halftime show and if the game's boring, but also the commercials. On the topic of the commercials, now you remember a couple of years ago, if you did, if you didn't, it'll be in the corner. I did a top 5 on my favourite Super Bowl commercials. Well, since then, I've got better ideas. I think, you know what? There's so many good ones to choose from. There is so many great Super Bowl ads over the years to choose from. I thought, you know that video I did a couple of years ago, what, 4 years ago now? I'm going to go one better. Well, actually, maybe 2. How about this? In honour of Super Bowl 53, I give you my top 53 Super Bowl commercials of all time. No restrictions, not one per brand, not one per Super Bowl. We're not doing those restrictions. It's just the 53 that I enjoy the most. I bet half of you will disagree with me, a lot of you might. But either way, let's get on with the bottom 10. At number 53, it's Pizza Hut Miss Piggy from Super Bowl 40. Now, I know what a lot of you might be thinking. Why the hell is this pizza advert from Super Bowl 40 featuring Miss Piggy on here? Why? Well, the reason why, and I had to have this on this list, and I put it at the bottom because it's got a bit of sentimental value to me. As I mentioned, I think in my original countdown as well, you should go check that out. You know, it has a bit of sentimental value to me. This was the first Super Bowl ad that I recall watching before I had as invested an interest in the NFL. You know, look, I think it was just I was watching it here and there. But yeah, I just remember seeing the advert on the Muppets website, and yeah, that was one of them that I just really enjoyed. The uninitiated, it's Pizza advertising their Cheesy Bites pizza, where, you know, a group are ordering and they say, oh, love the new Cheesy Bites pizza. And Miss Piggy comes out and does these bites are made for popping. Similar to what Jessica Simpson did in an advert that aired earlier in the night. And about Jessica Simpson, you do get a little cameo from her at the end, thinking, is she the pop star? She thought she was the pop star. And Miss Piggy was like, who wish? Very poor Miss Piggy impression there, I know. So yeah, number 53, it is Miss Piggy for Pizza Hut on Super Bowl 40. Number 52, Ozzy Osbourne and Justin Bieber, Best Buy, Super Bowl 45. Okay, now this is the first of several from Super Bowl 45, and you're thinking, this one, really? Well, again, like the previous entry, I feel, again, it's got some sentimental value to me, because Super Bowl 45 was the first Super Bowl where of having this invested interest in the NFL. I also found out I could watch the commercials. So yeah, I was able to watch the adverts on foxsports.com, and I remember, now there's a personal story here from school actually. I remember this week, now every Friday, I think, it was every week during registration, one day a week, we'd get a quiz. And I remember what unlikely duo teamed up for an advert for this year's Super Bowl, and I got it. I'd seen this advert, so it did benefit me. What is Ozzy Osbourne? It starts off Ozzy Osbourne's plug-in 4G. Obviously, 4G was labelled the next big thing. couple of years into it, and we're nearly pushing 5G now. But yes, so 4G. Oh, it was basically a way of saying how fast technology moves. Because 5G is coming out, and you get us. How many G's are there? But then he goes, and Justin Bieber comes in. It's Bieber, 6G fever. And you think, Ozzy Osbourne and Justin Bieber, you know. I had to include this one on this list because I feel this is a catalyst to the insanity that is Super Bowl commercials, you know. Guys, you think, of all people, you've got Ozzy Osbourne and Justin Bieber doing a bloody Super Bowl ad. I don't know, part of me felt this is one I had to include on this list. So yes, at number 52, it is Ozzy Osbourne and Justin Bieber from Super Bowl 45. Number 51, Cram It in the Boot, mini Super Bowl 45. So from one Super Bowl 45 advert to another, and a bit of British banter according to adage.com. Again, like with the other two, this is one. If these were one of my favourite adverts from that Super Bowl, definitely it was one of my favourites. I don't just cram it in the boot and it's mini. I don't know. It was one of them I thought it was one I really looked at. I really enjoyed. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It was one of them I was just gonna watch, and I liked it. I don't know why, but obviously I've enjoyed it and I've put it on this list. Definitely not the best advert from that Super Bowl. I mean, but I think it is definitely one of my all-time favourites. You know, I get a good rush of early memories of great Super Bowl commercials watching this advert. It's like with the Ozzy Osbourne and Justin Bieber one before. So at number 51, it's mini Cram It in the Boot from Super Bowl 45. Number 50, Mr. Burns Goes Broke, Coca-Cola, Super Bowl 44. Okay, now you're thinking, okay, alright, Super Bowl 44. So after two straight Super Bowl 45 entries, we get, spoiler alert, we'll get two, the next two will be from the one the year prior. But we're going to start with this Coca-Cola advert. Now, it starts where Mr. Burns from The Simpsons has lost his entire fortune, and he loses pretty much everything, including Smithers. Waylon Smithers, where are you? Very poor Mr. Burns impression there. But yes, and he's deeply depressed. He's lost everything. Lost his fortune, lost his best friend, lost everything. But then he just has a little stroll on the park, and you see, and Pooh, Len gives him a Coke. He drinks it, and and they're all happy. Not really much detail. Again, it's one of them. I get that rush of memories. I do enjoy it. And especially the bit at the end with Millhouse. It's the Coke, and you see the logo at the end of the commercial, and Millhouse, I believe, in a hot air balloon, and crashes into the Coke, and he's like, sorry, Coke. It's the old Coke tune there. So yeah, not really much to say. I do. It's one I enjoyed. It's an early pick. If you want a good Super Bowl advert, it's one I do turn to. So yeah, number 50, it's Coca-Cola, Mr. Burns Goes Broke from Super Bowl 44. Number 49, Human Bridge, Budweiser, Super Bowl 44. Staying with Super Bowl 44 now, with a Budweiser advert. Now this one I thought was a little bit different. Like, I thought, in a way, it's one of my favourites. Obviously, it's on this countdown. I think it feels like it's trying to be like the Bud Light ones. You get the Bud Light ones. So the bridge, where it's in a town, the bridge is out, but there's a Budweiser delivery truck on the other side. So they've got a whole load of the whole town gathers together and creates a human bridge for the truck to come over. Boy, that took some doing that. Well, I think again it's a very good advert. One of my favourites, definitely from that Super Bowl. There's a couple more. So yeah, number 49, it's Human Bridge from Budweiser, Super Bowl 44. Number 48, Jerry Seinfeld's Real Life, American Express, Super Bowl 33. Now this one, obviously a year removed or so from Seinfeld ending, one of the greatest sitcoms ever, the show about nothing. The lead title character, Jerry Seinfeld, like after its ending, was going for something real. He wanted to explore America. And he can now with his American Express card. And it was going on about, oh yes, it looks very real. I thought quite humorous, and like, yeah, It's clearly in the studio. So I thought it was a nice little fun advert, to be fair. At number 48, it's American Express, Jerry Seinfeld's Real Life from Super Bowl 33. Number 47, it's Get It from the WWF or the WWE, whatever you prefer, from Super Bowl 33. Don't worry, it's not going to be 2 from one Super Bowl, 2 from another. That is definitely not going to happen, so don't need to worry about that. So the WWE's infamous Super Bowl ad, at the boom of their popularity, and I do think this is incredibly hilarious advert. Definitely not one of the best, but it's definitely one of my favourites. So this is why it's on here. So again, and I think it was very humorous, and you just think, get it? I mean, they're a non-violent form of entertainment, and there's just all hell breaking loose throughout. It's absolute insanity. From what I know, this is what Super Bowl ads are all about. So at number 47, it's Get It from the WWF or WWE, whatever you prefer, from Super Bowl 33. Number 46, Jerry Seinfeld and Superman, American Express, Super Bowl 32. From their sequel, it was just 2 picks ago, to its predecessor, Jerry Seinfeld with Superman. I thought, odd pairing. And Lois has forgot her wallet. And Superman can't help. He's powerless. Superman, of all people, powerless. But Jerry Seinfeld becomes the hero and gives Lois his American Express card, which apparently you can do more with. Just for the sheer pairing. That is Jerry Seinfeld and Superman. And again, another insane one, which to me, that's what the commercials for the Super Bowl are all about. This is why I ranked it number 46. So at number 46, it is Jerry Seinfeld, Superman, from American Express, Super Bowl 32. Number 45, Dog, Bud Light, Super Bowl 38. Once I saw this advert, I showed it to a lot of my dog-loving friends. I myself am not one of them. So yes, just 2 guys walking the dogs. What the harm in that? Well, one say, oh, what can your dog do? One gives him a beer, and another guy's dog asks for a Bud Light, and to get that beer, he uses some pretty extreme measures. He bites the other owner in the gentleman's area. I have sort of laughed, and a lot of my dog-loving friends and colleagues have also loved this advert. I've always laughed at that. Very humorous advert, I've had some good laughs out of it as well. So number 45, it's the dog from Bud Light from Super Bowl 38. Number 44, Matthew Broderick's Day Off, Honda, Super Bowl 46. Matthew Broderick, his breakthrough, and I'd probably say, let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, his main role, the one he's most famous for being, is Ferris Bueller in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. His most famous role, I assume by a country mile, is when he played Ferris Bueller in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But he had a day off of his own. He was very, very sick. And with his Honda CR-V, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he has similar antics that his character in that 1986 brilliant film, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, goes through, where he fakes being ill and has a nice day of relaxing and chilling. Absolutely great. Funny, it's nice that he's at least paying homage to, obviously, this is what he's best known for. So yes, number 44, it's Matthew Broderick's Day Off from Super Bowl 46. Number 43, Best for Fred, Budweiser, Super Bowl 34. Now this one, you think is one of the weird ones, Budweiser having a slight humorous spot. Obviously, this was at the height of their "What's up?" campaign, with the slight humour into their commercials. Now, you think it's, a dog owner talking about his dog, but then you realise it's actually the dog is talking. I thought this was absolutely amazing. I don't know what I liked about this advert. I just know that I liked it. I thought it was really good. Again, it was one of them I often go for. A lot of these on this list is ones I go to for. If I want a good Super Bowl advert, these are the ones I often go to. And it's what's best for Fred. You're thinking the best dog. If it's a dog owner and you're saying about his dog, if it's the best dog food, the best treats, the best vets. But no, it's about the owner, not the dog saying about his owner. The best beer, which is a Budweiser. So not much really to say, but number 43, it's best for Fred, Budweiser, Super Bowl 34. Number 42, Healing Fish, Doritos, Super Bowl 45. Yet another Super Bowl 45 commercial. What can I say? Like I said, it's got a bit of sentimental value to me. That was the first one where I really watched a lot of the commercials. And this is one of them that I also did not think was one of the best of that Super Bowl. But if memory serves me correctly, NFL.com also said this in an article on their website of some of the best Super Bowl adverts. So what it is a house sitter, and he's like, oh, well, it's to feed the fish, water the plant, and, it fast forward to the day of when the person's coming back. So this is the dead fish, which he then puts Doritos in, and the fish, is back to life. The plant, he feeds the plant Doritos, it's back to life. So, and cleaned up, and then until he spills the ashes of his mate's dead grandfather, he puts Doritos on there, and his granddad's back to life. And to the shock value of his mates. I thought it was quite humorous. I thought it was insane. It was obviously it was a fan-made commercial because it was at the time Doritos were doing the Crash the Super Bowl contest where they was getting a regular consumer to come up with a Super Bowl commercial. It's a very good idea. So for whoever the guys who came up with that and submitted that, very good. You've made this list, so winner, chicken dinner. Number 42, it's Healing Fish from Doritos from Super Bowl 45. Number 41, Ultrasound Doritos Super Bowl 50. From Doritos Super Bowl adverts from 45 to 5 years later, Super Bowl 50. Now this is one of them I found very funny. Like with one you'll see later on in this countdown. Don't know when, so watch this space. I remember showing it to a couple friends of mine the next day, I believe. So it's basically, couple. Well, I'll give you a background where you've got a couple, having an ultrasound, and for an expectant mother having the ultrasound, and this expectant mother's not very happy that her partner's eating Doritos at the ultrasound. Reminded me of a bit of a friend of mine. His ex-girlfriend hated it when he was eating Doritos on PSN. You guys know who you are. I ain't gonna say your names to protect your identity. But you guys, and I immediately said to Ginger 42 when I saw it, could you imagine if they got that far? And then about a week later, they broke up, sadly. This is one of my favourites. It's one I like. I really enjoy. I really find it funny. And I had a good laugh out of it with my mates in the process. So good job, Doritos, or the consumer. Obviously, I'm not sure. I think it'll say somewhere around here whether or not this was during the Crash the Super Bowl contest. I think they've stopped it now. Yeah, number 41, it's Ultrasound by Doritos from Super Bowl 50. Number 40, Air Jordan, Nike, whichever you prefer, Super Bowl 26. Now this one definitely did plant the seeds for Michael Jordan's feature film, Space Jam, which is in the hearts and minds of every young basketball fan from the 90s, the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan, rocking his Jordan brand. You will be able to see it on the camera. And you see right here from the old Clear Vision, who used to bring us officially licensed NBA DVDs back in the day. I believe this was also directed by the same guy who gone to direct Space Jam. But this planted the seeds definitely because Michael Jordan is teaming up with his partner in Space Jam, Bugs Bunny. Watch up, Doc. These two were teaming together in a basketball game. A little basketball, in a pickup game in the gym. Obviously, they'll be teaming together a couple of years later in the film Space Jam. Very humorous again. What do you expect from the Super Bowl? I mean, one of the many great commercials Michael Jordan has done over the years, and this obviously planted the seeds for Space Jam as well, its sequel the following year. Don't know which one. I think one of them was directed by the director of Space Jam. It'll say here. I believe this is one. I don't know if both of them were. I think I'll have it there. So number 40. It's Air Jordan, Nike or Nike, whatever you prefer. Super Bowl 26. Number 39. Dog Strikes Back, Volkswagen, Super Bowl 46. Now the sequel to the one of the most iconic Super Bowl commercials of this past decade, the Volkswagen advert from surprise, surprise, Super Bowl 45 with the Darth Vader one. This was its sequel. Mainly I liked it for the ending, really. Very good advert. They do the commercial, but it's the ending that does it for me. Where they're in the Star Wars cantina with the infamous music. Because obviously you had Darth Vader, and I think you had, well, if I remember from the Family Guy parody, Pig Nose and Scots. But either way, yes, at number 39, it's the Star Wars Cantina from Volkswagen, Super Bowl 46. Number 38, Rescue Chevrolet Silverado, Super Bowl 45. Speaking of 45, this is one, again, that has got a lot of sentimental value. found it quite funny. I mean, you got to drive a self-driving car with this family's kid in danger. He fell down a well. He got trapped in a cave, and apparently got stuck in a volcano. Apparently, his dad did not know there was a volcano. I mean, that was quite funny, to be fair. That was funny right there. And with the Chevrolet Silverado, he's managing to get it done. So, not much to say. 38, it's Rescue Chevrolet Silverado from Super Bowl 45. At number 37, it's the 80s called Radio Shack Super Bowl 48. Now, adverts from Super Bowl 48 by far was better than the game itself. I had the displeasure of watching the game. It was honestly painful. And this advert was one of the reasons why to keep watching, even though I didn't watch the American coverage, the full-on American coverage. I mean, if you're a big fan of the 80s, this advert was definitely for you, with a massive review. The 80s called Radio Shack, was supposedly out of date. You had Hulk Hogan, the DeLorean time machine, Alf! Anything that screamed 80s supposedly was in this advert. Hulk Hogan, well, actually, less said of him the better, because what came out just about the year after. Well, WWE since forgiven, should we do so too? And I think you even had Terminator as well. Very humorous. I thought it was just the insanity of just everything in 80s, the most 80s of 80s icons. So yes, number 37, it is the 80s called Radio Shack from Super Bowl 48. Way better than the actual game. Number 36, Mean Troy, Coke Zero, Super Bowl 43. Don't you worry that its predecessor will be on here. Stay tuned for that. Maybe not this episode, but it might be further up, so keep tuned for that. Keep it locked and watch this space. And it was a love letter, would you say, to the biggest Super Bowl, one of the greatest Super Bowl ads of all time. It's Coke Zero brand having Troy Polamalu be the one, but you've got Coke brand managers like, oh, they're nicking our stuff. They're just a different company. And, you think, it's just a shot-for-shot remake with a younger kid and obviously Troy Polamalu instead of Mean Joe Green. But no, they're like, oh, well, you're not stealing our commercial, Coke Zero. And then brand managers get tackled by Troy Polamalu, and then they finish the advert and ends with a da-da-da-da-da. Nice little paying homage to one of the most iconic adverts of all time, obviously the 1 year before the 125th anniversary of Coca-Cola. And obviously Coca-Cola in the Super Bowl is one of them. If Coca-Cola was not there, something must have gone wrong. So yes, at number 36, it's Mean Troy, Coke Zero, Super Bowl 43. Number 35, it's Epic Party, Pepsi Next, Super Bowl 47. Now, this is the first one I think I saw before the actual Super Bowl, believe it or not. When I watched it on YouTube, for some reason Pepsi put it on their YouTube channel early. I saw the preview for it and just the insanity leading up to the party. Like, jetpacks, I believe, some duct tape, all sorts of insanity. What more could you want? And obviously, his parents come home to see this epic party. Oh, they've just been drinking some Pepsi Next. When all hell is breaking loose of this party, and the parents approve, and they're partying on into the night. So yes, at number 35, epic party, Pepsi Next, Super Bowl 47. And at number 34, Sumo, or I Surrender, KGB, Super Bowl 44. You're thinking, why the hell is this on there? How many times have you probably thought that this countdown? This advert, of all adverts? But again, like a lot of them, it's got a bit of sentimental value, especially the ones from 44, 45. I mean, this is one I absolutely love. This was like almost my favourite advert for a long time. It was my favourite advert from Super Bowl 44. You learn a bit of Japanese. Obviously, my countdown a couple of years ago, this was at number, I think this was number 4, I believe. It was on there. Sure as hell it was on there. For the question service, their only Super Bowl commercial. And what's I Surrender in Japanese? They had a sumo wrestler coming from. One was browsing the web. One was texting the service. And the guy texting the service got it right and liked it. While the other guy got the complete opposite and got flattened by a sumo wrestler. Absolutely humorous. Every time I think only one person I think I've ever shown it to has not laughed when I've shown it to them. So obviously it's popular on my friendship group. There you go. And number 34, it's Sumo or I Surrender, KGB, Super Bowl 44. Number 33, Satin Sheets, Bud Light, Super Bowl 36. It's almost a lad's dream, innit? You got your lass who's, wanting to get, you want to get in between the sheets with, this guy, it begged to differ, but until she had cold Bud Light, so he immediately comes dashing to where predictably he goes flying and misses. But how much of an epic fail, he goes flying out the window and ends up having to run back with no clothes on, which is not a pretty sight to see for a straight lad who really, 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 really does not want to be seeing that. I thought it was again very humorous. It's one I often go to. This was voted by them the best commercial, apparently on the Ad Meter from USA Today, as the most popular Super Bowl commercial for this particular Super Bowl. I agree, this is one I often go to for if I want a Super Bowl commercial from that Super Bowl. I really enjoy it. Like, it was a bit very funny. The usual, Bud Light's humour style is second to none. They're probably the best. Them and Doritos do the most humorous adverts, I think. That's their trademark. That's their thing. And again, very good offer. So yes, at number 33, it was Satin Sheets from Super Bowl 36. Number 32, Just My Shell, M&M's, Super Bowl 46. Now this one is more than just a Super Bowl advert here, because it's been a lot. I think this didn't air really during the Super. Obviously, it didn't here. Now you wonder how the M&M anatomy works. Even with her brown shell, you would think Mrs. Brown is nude. As someone mistook that she was nude. And it's just, it looks like her chocolate showing. Where even Red mistakes the coating, and he bears all, which is not pleasant, and dances to LMFAO's Sexy and I Know It. Again, a very humorous advert. I think M&M's, they do a couple as well. And spoiler alert, one of them is on this list. It's not on this episode, but it's definitely on this list. Again, very humorous. But yeah, so number 32, Just My Shell, M&M's from Super Bowl 46. Number 31, The Lady, Bud Light, Super Bowl 39. Now, I bet, let me know in the comments if you're a lad. I personally have sort of never had this scenario, sad me, which actually is a good thing to be fair, but, where, if you've been in this scenario, lads, you're out with your girlfriend or your wife or your fiance or your partner, and a bloke another bloke's trying to chat her up. That's immediately what I thought of when I came when I first saw this advert. But instead of a bloke trying to confront this guy chatting this lass up, you've got a parrot. I think it's a parrot, I should check. I thought again it was pretty bloody humorous. You know, Bud Light, that is their trademark all year round with their commercials, especially during the Super Bowl. This proved just that, no exception. Very, very funny. I like it as well at the end. You don't want to go there, buddy. They're scaring away another guy's, you know, of all things, a parrot. So that definitely does make it different and very, very funny in the process. I would have put probably another block, but actually this makes it funnier. Number 31, the Lady Bud Light Super Bowl 39. Number 30, Clydesdale Training Budweiser Super Bowl 42. The Super Bowl that was obviously best known for the Patriots being denied the perfect season by Eli Manning, David Tyree and the Giants with the infamous helmet catch. Included again a Super Bowl ad that's again got some sentimental value to me. This was one I didn't realise it was a Super Bowl advert when I saw it, but I'd seen it and I really liked it. I had a bit of Rocky fever at the time, I remember. So I quite liked the training montage where this Clydesdale that's out of the team, it's not going to be in the team. His dogmate is being trained into the style of Rocky. So a good job by Budweiser on this one for a very humorous advert. Again, I go with a lot of humour. I mean, from what I've seen, this is what Super Bowl commercials are all about, as you've probably seen on this list. Obviously, the training was enough, and you think of the series, all the hard work paid off. So you think, even though it's quite humorous, but it makes it good, like, just work hard, work at it, and it likely will pay off. So at number 30, Clydesdale Training, Budweiser, Super Bowl 42. Number 29, It's a Miracle, Doritos, Super Bowl 44. And that's in the last episode, the KGB advert was my favourite. But, I mean, this gets the nod, I think, now in this countdown. I mean, I thought it was quite insane. A Doritos mad person who supposedly died had his wish, a casket full of Doritos. His dream for his send-off. And he's alive. So then he tips over and he's alive and well. And thinking, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. So number 29, It's a Miracle, Doritos from Super Bowl 44. And speaking of miracles, number 28, Montana Miracle Stain, tied, Super Bowl 47. Now this one for pure insanity. And something that goes against Tide, but they remind us, no stain should ever be sacred. Where guys is watching the game and a Montana stain in the shape of 49ers legend Joe Montana, and it becomes a miracle. It becomes the talk of the world. He even opens Montana land. All hell breaks loose. He's a media darling until his wife, who's a Ravens fan, who the Niners opponent was in that Super Bowl, washed his 49ers jersey because it had a stain on it. No, reminding us, no stain is absolutely sacred. So number 28, it's the Montana Miracle Stain from Tide from Super Bowl 47. Number 27, Dog City Bud Light Super Bowl 45. Have you guessed how many Budweiser or Bud Light commercials are in this countdown, or how many Super Bowl 45 commercials have been in this countdown? I mean, I've lost count myself. This one, again, adds a bit of sentimental value to me. You got someone dog sitting a huge amount of dogs. Not my ideal place at all. Not my ideal place at all. And he teaches them to do all sorts of things. One DJing, one serving drinks at a bar, and having a party, as Bud Light was the party there, and probably still is. And obviously there was some dogs playing poker. So number 27, it's Dog City from Bud Light from Super Bowl 45. Number 26, yeah, we waste $2 million. E-Trade, Super Bowl 34. The year 2000, where we've gone past the Y2K bug and the internet was sort of just starting to take off. If it hadn't took off before, it was was very starting to now. And E-Trade, investing online company, had this Super Bowl advert for the ages. I like this, how simple it was. And it works really well for what E-Trade is about, investing money online. Where they just wasted money. The one with the dancing monkey, obviously, which definitely probably will not go through today because of animal rights laws. Hence why PG had to swap their mascot from a real live monkey to the puppet one over here for the famous ad campaign. I'm not sure if it's the same in the United States. One, monkey comes in, puts on a stereo and starts dancing. And you think, well, oh, whoa, waste of $2 million. A dancing monkey, no reason. But then you think, what am I doing with my money? I'm not investing it online. I could get bigger and greater things. Granted, it could all go belly up. So a very clever idea. Good job, E-Trade. So yeah, number 26, it's E-Trade's wasting $2 million from Super Bowl 34. Wasting money just like that for the very simple idea. Now, where have I heard that before? Number 25, the test card, FedEx, Super Bowl 32. Now, this probably was a lot more simpler. And from what I've heard, obviously, now I was only a toddler. Unfortunately, I've not been an NFL fan since Bear. And I definitely would have had access in 1998 to all the American commercials. But this one, from what I've heard, really grabbed the attention. There was the buzz, and it was an error, a test card, thinking, oh, you should be seeing something else. And it was a very simple idea. It was, it grabbed the attention. You're thinking, what's happening? What's happening? It's a test card. It should be something else. It should be an advert for Earthco Insurance. But instead, it's not. It's just a test card because some idiot at their ad agency didn't use FedEx. Had it used FedEx, it would have got to NBC on time for the game. 1.36 million, I believe, went down the tubes because they didn't use FedEx. What a simple idea. Thumbs up again from FedEx, their ad agency. And obviously FedEx, I assume, sent it themselves to NBC to get there in time for the game. A very simple idea and a very good job, I think, again. So number 25, it's the test card from FedEx from Super Bowl 32. Number 24, Terry Tate, office linebacker, Reebok, Super Bowl 37. Now, I'm more of a big fan of the series. I've seen the clips on YouTube and on Vimeo. Well, I've seen the clips on the internet, the shorts, the Reebok shorts, but a compilation all together for this Super Bowl 37 commercial. And he's absolutely great. You think, very unrealistic because obviously, there'd be a lot of lawsuits and a lot of injuries. But was it those skits, those videos, and the advert have damn well made me laugh. They're very humorous. That is what I love. That's what I feel makes a good Super Bowl advert: the humour and the great attention. You get the funny ones that have stood the test of time. You get others a gimmick, a cheap publicity stunt. So at number 24, it's TTTOLB. Terry Tate, office linebacker from Reebok, from Super Bowl 37. Number 23, picture phone, Bud Light, Super Bowl 39. I know what you're thinking, another beer advert. Well, safe to say, way before I was old enough to be drinking beer, these were one of my favourites growing up. Even non-Super Bowl ones, like this app one from 2011. That's one that definitely I really enjoy. This one here from Super Bowl 39. We've already had a Bud Light one on this list already, so go check that out. The lady, but we've got the picture phone one. Now, you've got two buddies going a game and their mates turn down the tickets. So they hit, well, boy, look at the fun we're having. But then his mates, he tells them back, yep, he's in one of their flats. With a Bud Light and his girlfriend, and not the guy's girlfriend, one of the guys at the game's girlfriend. When I first saw this, I thought it was quite relatable in a way because I could see in a way something like that happen to one of my friends. So yes, number 23, picture phone Bud Light from Super Bowl 39. Number 22, Super Bowl babies, the NFL Super Bowl 50. Okay, does the NFL really have have the right to be on this list? I think so, because again, this is one of my favourites from Super Bowl 50 to celebrate the 50th Super Bowl. Now, the City, 9 months after the victory, the winning team City, so last year probably Philadelphia, the year before for that Super Bowl it was Denver, they'll see a rise in births. They're called Super Bowl babies. You got Super Bowl babies from the 70s, the 80s, absolute all different eras of Super Bowl babies. And, it was just amazing. What a way to celebrate what the Super Bowl is all about. That's what you could think with this. And they also revived it a little bit the year after, with you got the baby Iron Mike Ditka, the baby Belichick, and all sorts of others. With another Super Bowl babies, but not an epic music number by R. Kelly. Oh, sorry, it's not R. Kelly. It's Seal. So yes, 22 Super Bowl babies from the NFL itself from Super Bowl 50. Number 21, Love Ballad, Eminem's Super Bowl 47. Red doing Meatloaf to an actual human being. I remember I saw it countless times, I think I watched it on YouTube after the Super Bowl, but I remember when I went to America that year, I did see the advert a fair few times. That's what made me like this advert, to be fair, this commercial. I quite enjoyed it. I thought, again, I found it quite relatable. It's like, yeah, I'll do anything. To number 21, it's Love Ballad, Eminem's Super Bowl 47. Number 20, Tiny Dancer, Budweiser, Super Bowl 45. And another Super Bowl 45 advert, another beer advert. Yes, what can I say? Like I said, a lot in this countdown, a lot of them from 45 have got a bit of sentimental value to me. I think this is, the first one I watched from that Super Bowl. It's set in the Old West. It got a bit of sentimental value to me, this one. What happens in this advert where there's a cowboy coming into the bar. He asked for a bud, they just ran out. He was about to hold the place up at gunpoint, and then they just came in right at the nick of time. And the epic number of Tiny Dancer begun. And I believe as well, this was also voted on NFL.com for that Super Bowl. It was one of their top commercials. I could have sworn they did. Number 20, it's Tiny Dancer from Budweiser from Super Bowl 45. Number 19, Fair State, Pepsi Max, Super Bowl 45. Another Super Bowl 45 advert, and another one on the NFL's list. And it's on my list as well. This one has a couple on their first date, and they're just wondering what they're thinking. The lass is thinking, the usual things. Like, they're getting to know how much money does he make. Is he still living with his parents? The bloke's thinking, just want to sleep with her. He wants her Pepsi Max. When she gets not a chance. Which one? They're going to be sleeping together, or are they going to be out? Is he getting a Pepsi Max? So yes, number 19, it's Pepsi Max Fair State from Super Bowl 45. And Monday, Fair State in a Super Bowl. Where have I seen that since? Number 18, Fair State, Hyundai or Hyundai, whatever you prefer, Super Bowl 50. It's got Kevin Hart, and I remember back in college, I did this when I was analysis of an advert. I picked this one because this was by far my favourite commercial from Super Bowl 50. So, Kevin Hart's daughter in kayfabe probably was on her first date, and it was like, and Kevin Hart's like, oh yeah, have my new Hyundai, and on his watch he was able to track her every move. It's a very overprotective father, and made it a very miserable first date for the lad. And for the woman as well, like, just everywhere they go, he was there, everywhere they went, even the most insane circumstances, which I found quite funny. Again, so yes, at number 18, it's Fair State Hyundai from Super Bowl 50. Number 17, Michael J. Fox, Diet Pepsi, Super Bowl 21. Now, during the work on Back to the Future franchise and his work on Family Ties, Michael J. Fox did this advert for Super Bowl 21 for Diet Pepsi. I mean, all I want is a Pepsi, very famous in Back to the Future. His character Marty McFly having a Pepsi, because I assume this, the sponsorship in there, the product placement. And realised he's got this hot neighbour that's just moved in. Asked if she wanted a diet. Asked if he had a diet Pepsi. He's out. So he pops out to go get some, and he goes through an epic journey just to get that woman that diet Pepsi. He goes through his own locked window, he goes through dogs, and he goes through a biker gang, just among others. He gets it, and he thinks, so it's all for nows. And then, he's got her roommate. He has to make another trip out, but it is the choice of a new generation, and it's the choice for me, Pepsi. So, number 17, it is Michael J. Fox's advert for Diet Pepsi from Super Bowl 21. Number 16, Secret Fridge, Bud Light, Super Bowl 40. It's sort of every beer drinking lad's fantasy, innit? You know, just to stumble upon a fridge for a little bit. When someone is having a party and he's worried about them drinking all the beer, he has a secret revolving door installed, which leads to next door, and immediately when they see the magic fridge, they are like, oh my god, it's back. So they quickly get the booze, and they just stumble upon it, and do what a load of lads would do if they just stumble upon a fridge full of free beer. There goes Scarpa, whatever the hell it is, and the lengths they'll do to make sure it comes back, because they don't know that the guy next door's got a revolving door. It's again very humorous, that typical Bud Light style. Bud Light, that they know how to do. If there's one thing they can do well for their Super Bowl commercials and beyond, is make it very humorous. They know how to crank it up to 11, especially for the Super Bowl. At number 16 is Secret Fridge from Bud Light from Super Bowl 40. Number 15, Revenge, Pepsi Max, Super Bowl 45. Hooray! Another Pepsi Super Bowl 45 advert! This is, again, one I absolutely loved from Super Bowl 45. I found it in a way a bit relatable, you know what I mean? Where some cool kids, teasing this guy just sunbathing. Like, oh, he catches it, and he's like, oh, don't even release it. But there's a torpedo colour Pepsi Max with all the flavour. No, I can't remember it. And that guy who was teasing him earlier, well, he gets, for his troubles, a can to the nuts. So yeah, number 15, it's Revenge, Pepsi Max, Super Bowl 45. Number 14, Epic Night, Bud Light, Super Bowl 48. Like with most of these adverts from Super Bowl 48, this was a hell of a lot better than the game itself. Oh, the halftime show was great, and this commercial as well as the Radio Shack one from that Super Bowl, as I've mentioned. So you go see that, the episode where I mentioned that one as well. So I believe it's Ian Rappaport. I'm thinking, is it the Ian Rappaport from NFL Media? It was just given by some random woman, hey, Bud Light, and you up for whatever happens, and he has the most epic night ever, playing ping pong with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was in a One Republic concert as well, on stage, among other things. He had a limo ride round town. What an epic night it must have been. It is the perfect beer for the insanity that would have happened, and that's a Bud Light. So at number 14, it is Epic Night from Bud Light from Super Bowl 48. Number 13, Prison Break, Audi, Super Bowl 45. I've actually lost count, to be fair, and I bet you guys have too, of how many adverts from Super Bowl 45 are in this countdown. This is, again, one of them first ones that I watched again. It's got a bit of sentimental value to me. One of my favourites of this Super Bowl, obviously, it's on this list, so why wouldn't it be? Very humorous for a Prison Break. I'll say this as well. They took a very good bash at their rival in the luxury car market, Mercedes. Like at the time, I think I saw another Audi advert later that year where again they was taking bashes at Mercedes, like, oh, they're old fashioned, where the modern luxury. You got two guys trying to break out of prison, a very luxury prison, so shall we say, and there's a bunch of old people in there. Release the hounds, and it's just, well, these dogs here. You got the gate closing, massive prison break. They get distracted with Kenny G. They're like, oh yeah, I love this, and then I'm gonna focus. So they get out, and one of them in his Mercedes is like, well, it's like it's a trap. He's like thinking he's gonna get out while the other guy was in a Mercedes, sorry, in an Audi, and he gets out, he escapes while the guy is back in jail. Again, found this one quite humorous. A lot. I mean, that's the ones I go for. Normally in a great Super Bowl advert, I mean, a lot. How many times have I said this countdown? I found this one very humorous. Yes, very humorous indeed. At number 13, it's Prison Break from Audi from Super Bowl 45. Number 12, Steven Tyler's Driving Back the Years, Kia, Super Bowl 52. I know, one from last year's Super Bowl. It's a lot fresh in my memory, and one of them I really enjoyed from last year's Super Bowl. Steven Tyler to the sound of Dream On from his band Aerosmith. I believe he's 69, so he's pushing 70 this year, I think. Will be 70 now. I'm not actually sure, I should say around there. He gets into a Kia. He goes in reverse, and it was young, fresh face back in his prime back in the 70s, would you say? I suppose it's a way of saying how much it will, like the music, like sort of like the Beatles in a way, and some of the great legendary rock bands ever. You know, their music never ages. It ages, if it does age, it's like a fine wine. You know, you've got songs that have stood the test of time, and I think the Beatles are probably the best at it. Aerosmith is quite up there. I really enjoyed it. I love the music in this one. Obviously, Dream On, Aerosmith. So as number 12, it is Steven Tyler's Driving Back the Years, Kia from Super Bowl 52. Number 11, The Showdown, McDonald's Super Bowl 27. Now, this one obviously is one of the most iconic ones. So iconic, McDonald's brought it back. Let's do the math here. Let's see, this was probably, 1993? In 2010, they brought it back, having a bit of, obviously, they had a sequel the following year, and also they had it with LeBron James and Dwight Howard for Super Bowl 44, but we've gone for the original because that is the best. Michael Jordan, who had an endorsement deal, I believe, with McDonald's at the time, around the time, two basketball legends in an advert during the biggest American football event of the year, the Super Bowl. The same one that had the debut of the halftime show, of as it is now pretty much, where it's a headliner music act. This year it was Michael Jackson, and obviously that's helped significantly for the Super Bowl in the years since. Michael John's coming in with a Big Mac and fries. There was having a little shoot. Larry's having a little shoot around, and they want to play for Michael's Big Mac. You get the epic shots, and you don't see who wins. It's the first one to miss. Watches the other guy eats. Again, one of the most iconic ones of all time. So it was weird, obviously, two basketball greats, two of the greatest basketball players ever to lace up a pair of shorts and a jersey and to go shoot some hoops, some legends for their respective clubs, franchises, shall I say. Too much English in me for that. It's a good combination, but obviously it's one that has stood the test of time. And for that, number 11, The Showdown from McDonald's from Super Bowl 27. At number 10, it's Brand American NFL Super Bowl 45. And yet another Super Bowl 45 advert. Now, this one was my favourite from Super Bowl 45. For a long time, it was my favourite Super Bowl commercial ever. The reason why it's not ranked high is it's for the NFL, you know. So that's probably why I have not ranked it higher than I have. This made me want to have a Super Bowl party. 3 years or so after, I had one, and since 51 I've had one. I'm going to have one again this year. You get clips for you from a load of TV shows, including Full House, Family Guy, Friends, The Sopranos, Seinfeld. Have I said Simpsons? Glee, which was one of the hottest shows at the time. You got Happy Days, set in Wisconsin. The Packers win that Super Bowl. Hell, they won that Super Bowl. The Office, US as well. I'm sure I've missed a couple of others. This was my favourite. I loved it. And obviously South Park at the end. It was one I thought, you know what, I'm going to one day, if I'm not going to have one the year after, which I didn't, I was going to have a Super Bowl party. So and I have, and I enjoy having a party for the Super Bowl. It's absolutely amazing. It's going to get to the point now where if there's one year I don't do it, it's going to not feel very right. at all. At number 10, it's Brand American, the best fans ever from the NFL, from Super Bowl 45. At number 9, it's the lip sync rap battle, Mountain Dew and Doritos, Super Bowl 52. Again, one from last year, but this is one I've really enjoyed and will go down, I think, as a classic. It starts off, it's a Doritos advert with Peter Dinklage from, as I know him from Game of Thrones. I'm sure others do know him from Game of Thrones. He's having a rap. Not actually sure which song he's singing, but I do know his opponent, of all people, the old man in movie history, Morgan Freeman, of all people, rapping a Missy Elliott song to some Mountain Dew Ice. A battle. It's a song of ice and fire, and what a great clash of ice and fire in this epic rap battle. This is what the Super Bowl is all about. It's like what I said earlier at the top, I think at the bottom, where I had near the bottom where I had Ozzy Osbourne and Justin Bieber doing the Best Buy advert from Super Bowl 45. Because you wouldn't think these guys would be doing a Super Bowl advert together, but I wouldn't have thought Peter Dinklage and Morgan Freeman doing a Super Bowl advert together would. But hey, it's made this list. I absolutely enjoyed it. At number 9, the lip sync rap battle, Rap of Ice and Fire from Mountain Dew and Doritos from last year's Super Bowl 52. At number 8, it's Darth Vader, Volkswagen, Super Bowl 45. Alright, I know how I said that NFL Brand American was my favourite Super Bowl advert from 45. So while it's a great advert, it is one of my favourites of all time and will be, but the only reason why I'm knocking point just a little bit is because it's for the NFL. This one, again, is one of the most popular ones from the Super Bowl that year. The Darth Vader one, where it's a kid just trying to use the Force and do what Darth Vader does until he tries to do it with the car, and his dad helps him fulfill that when he turns on the power for his Volkswagen, and he scares that kid. Very sad, very painful. But yes, again, this is one of the most popular ones from that Super Bowl, so that's why it's on especially it's why it has to get a mention here. Definitely, I agree. It was one of the best that Super Bowl. I don't know what much to say, but except number 8, Darth Vader, Volkswagen, Super Bowl 45. And number 7, Budweiser Frogs. So the Frogs from Budweiser, Super Bowl 29. Well, again, one of them recently, as far back as a few years ago, I came back over here for a Bud Light commercial. Was Bud Light. But remember that from my Magic Weekend video that year, when I was supping a Bud Light. Bud Light beer. Obviously the one that started all, one of the most iconic Budweiser adverts of all time with wether from the 2000. But this is definitely, again, is one of the most, it's simple. It's just some frogs chilling in a pond and ribbiting out together for a certain, but yeah, a bud, a wise, and an air. Budweiser. Not very much to say. I think enough was said. So at number 7, it's Frogs from Budweiser from Super Bowl 29. And at number 6, it's Brotherhood Budweiser Super Bowl 47. Now this one is one of my favourite adverts from 47. Definitely. It's a Budweiser advert. It's the usual one with the Clydesdales. You've got this guy who's breeding this Clydesdale, brought it up, and then it gets taken on by Budweiser, and about 2 years later they come to where he's in, Chicago, and he gets to see how matured his Clydesdale is since being part of the Budweiser Clydesdales. One I felt that definitely pulls on the old heartstrings of just brotherhood and friendship. Not to sound real good, but I think it was a great premise, a simple premise, and it's why it's on this list. So at number 6, it's Brotherhood from Budweiser, Super Bowl 47. Number 5, Commander Audi Super Bowl 50. I mean, this one definitely is one of my favourites from Super Bowl 50, hence why it's in my top 5. I think it was one of them. I thought it did pull on the heartstrings a bit, and great choice of music, especially given this was about a month or so after David Bowie, the artist who had the song in the advert. It was a month or so after his death. A lot that happened in 2016. It has an old man who was an astronaut, who just wants to who wants the past back. He wants it when he was an astronaut. He's got his son who gives him the keys to an Audi, and it's just like how he was when he was going into space. How much he loves when he's in the Audi, and it's Starman by David Bowie playing, and it was just absolute, what a tribute as well to David Bowie, obviously, who passed away. So great song choice by Audi on this one. I don't know, I got a bit emotional. All the humorous ones I've done throughout this countdown, this is one I think that definitely pulls on the heartstrings a bit, because obviously it's just, I don't know, you've got that great feeling about it, and that's how I felt watching this advert, and I've watched it time and time again. So yeah, number 5, it is Commander by Audi from Super Bowl 50. And speaking of ones that pull on the heartstrings, number 4, Lost Dog, Budweiser, Super Bowl 49. I've said it before and I've said it again, I'm not really a dog person, but this again was one that, with a very mellow, what is not quite as close to the tune, a cover of the Proclaimers' famous hit 500 Miles. A very slow-paced version. That's, it's one that definitely pulls on the heartstrings between the relationship, between the friendships in the animal kingdom. When the dog goes missing and he finds his way back, and then despite when he's being attacked by wolves, his mates of the Budweiser Clydesdales come to the rescue. And your usual advert from the Budweiser Clydesdales for the Super Bowl was in, and what another great one. Again, it pulls a bit on heartstrings, a very simple premise. It was also, I believe, in 2017, the poll between this and one later on this countdown for the best Super Bowl commercial of all time. This was in 2017 from the CBS special, I believe. It was a special, I know that, on the build-up to the Super Bowl 51. And rightfully so, a very simple premise. I can understand why. Number 3, Mean Joe Green, Coca-Cola, Super Bowl 14. Now, I bet you're thinking, this one's been on every list of the greatest of all time. Of course, it is that good a Super Bowl advert. I mean, in fact, I think this one definitely did plant the seeds for what the Super Bowl is for adverts, what it is now. Because around that time, it was just Masterlock, apparently. Just give it, that special advert. That how far have we come? This advert definitely did plant the seeds. It features a kid feeling starstruck by Steelers' legendary running back, Mean Joe Green, and who's about to go off the field with an injury, and the kid offers him his Coke, and it's partly share a Coke and smile. I mean, the song, it's kind of, believe it or not, it kind of reminds me of a Disney song. I don't know, it's what I'd associate with Disney. Obviously, it has to be on this list somewhere. This is one of them. And the other 2 on this list are ones you've got to have when you're ranking the best Super Bowl commercials of all time. Obviously, they're my personal favourites as well. There's ones I've been going to a lot recently. If I want a good Super Bowl advert, this one is one of the ones I go to, like the others on this list. So at number 3, it's Mean Joe Green from Coca-Cola from Super Bowl 14. And speaking of iconic ones, number 2, Cindy Crawford, Pepsi, Super Bowl 26. Again, another one of those iconic Super Bowl ads of all time. From Cindy Crawford pulling up a supermodel, pulling up to a gas station and sipping a Pepsi. And you think the kid's like, oh, she's fit. No. They're thinking, that can's beautiful. That new can. It was to advertise. Great. A funny way, to be fair, to look at. To advertise a new can. But it's funny thinking, oh, she's fit, as us Brits would probably say. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, that can's beautiful. Not really much. What else can I really say about this advert? It is one of the most iconic ones of all time. That's why it's on this list, and it's one of my personal favourites. Why it's here. So that's number 2 now. It is too sweet. It's Cindy Crawford, Pepsi, Super Bowl 26. Number 1, 1984, Apple, Super Bowl 18. Alright. I'll admit I've got brand loyalty to Apple, and if I was going to have an Apple Super Bowl commercial, it has to be the most iconic one they've ever done. And what this advert has done for the world of advertising, for the Super Bowl, and their company in the process. Directed by legendary Hollywood director Ridley Scott. Now, you know how I said earlier how the Mean Joe Greenwood advert planted the seeds to help make the Super Bowl what it is today. Well, this one was the plants, and you watched it grow. Oh my God, how much this was the most iconic Super Bowl commercial of all time. Definitely. Without this one, we probably would not be getting the experience with the Super Bowl, what we were getting. Apparently, the game wasn't that great. Well, they were saying, did you see that commercial? There's a big feature on it from NFL Films. I'll leave that in the corner and in the description. You should check that one out off the NFL Films Presents series. What else can you say about this advert? You know, it's sometimes creepy, but hey, he's memorable for the right reasons. Based off the book 1984, look it up, predicting it would be hell, pretty much. But it wasn't. And obviously, you'll see with the Macintosh why 1984 is not like wouldn't be like 1984. And obviously, it wasn't like 1984. It's iconic, it is epic, and if it weren't for this advert, we probably wouldn't have the Super Bowl, what it is today. And that is why the 1984 advert from Apple from 1984 Super Bowl 18 is my number 1 Super Bowl commercial of all time. Well, thank you everyone for watching this great series. It's a big undertaking by my standards anyway. I'd like to thank all of you who've watched the whole series. I'd like to thank all of you guys at the NFL UK pages for giving me suggestions on how I should format the series. I'm happy with hoping how it's all turned out. Hoping you all enjoy Super Bowl 53. Let's see if we can get some more great commercials. And don't you worry, I'm not going to update this countdown. Maybe wait for something next year. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the whole series. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't checked out the rest of the series, you should go check that out. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video and the series, don't forget to leave a like. If you haven't, fair enough. Just drop a dislike, no hard feelings. Let me know what your favourite Super Bowl commercials of all time is in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of my picks. But a lot of you are going to disagree, but I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Get subscribed for more if you want some more. If you love the content I bring out and you want some more, don't forget to turn on those notifications so you know whenever the hell I post next. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Hawkins_MattUS. And don't forget, if you need some cheer, have no fear, Big Matt Hawk is here. Enjoy Super Bowl 53.